Our beaches are not ashtrays. That's the slogan from the tobacco company Philip Morris, and it's using it to raise awareness around the dropping of cigarette butts on South Africa's beaches. Its Unsmoke campaign is aiming to reach locals and tourists in Cape Town. Two anti-pollution demonstrations are taking place today at the Camps Bay beach, where we find reporter Monique Mortlock. Monique, good morning to you, sir. First of all, before you tell us what's happening, how bad are these, or how bad is this problem on South Africa's beaches?
Hi, Jeremy. The problem is so bad that apparently cigarette butts are the leading pollutants of our beaches, of our coastal areas. I'm going to be chatting to someone who is from an organization called the Kick Butt Campaign. As you mentioned before, we were here originally for that Philip Morris beach cleanup, but that's taking place a bit later. When we arrived here, we found, I'm just going to step out of shot so you can see, we were met with these super-sized cigarette butts. They aren't real cigarette butts. They are actually old telephone poles that the founder of Kick Butt has basically reinvented to symbolize cigarette butts, and I'm going to be chatting with him now to find out more about what he calls is a silent protest against cigarette butt pollutions. He says it's not only something that he does on the beaches like Camps Bay Beach today, but it's something that he's taken to various nature parks, nature reserves. Clive, welcome to ENCA. Just tell us more about today's demonstration.
Morning, thanks. Yeah, it was a beautiful day in Camps Bay today, and thought it'd be a great opportunity to create awareness and get the butts out here. And yeah, it's been amazing. There's been a lot of people asking questions, and it's just really about creating awareness about what would happen if one threw one's butt on the floor, and to take responsibility for your cigarette butt. We're not against smoking as such. We're really just against throwing your butt into nature or into the environment. You know, a cigarette butt contains fine plastic. The plastic is extremely harmful to nature. It's acetate plastic. It turns into a microfiber which ends up in our oceans, ends up in the groundwater, and as it breaks down it becomes more and more susceptible, and it ends up in animals, in their diet. And so yes, just an idea for us to make people aware of what we're doing.
And you mentioned some figures earlier, and we see some of the figures on these signs that you've put all over the beach. Just mention some of those stats for us about how many cigarette butts get discarded yearly globally.
Yeah, as you quite rightly mentioned at the beginning, that's the biggest and the most polluted item in the world. There's around 4.5 billion cigarette butts disposed of globally, and that ends up primarily and often in nature. The amount of and the time it takes for a cigarette butt to decompose can take between 18 months to 10 years. It's a long time, you know, and during that period it also has toxins in it because of filtering the nicotine, and nicotine is also dangerous for the environment. And besides that, it's also a fire hazard. You know, we've done the installation up on Lion's Head in Table Mountain Reserve, and it's just about creating that consciousness of not just throwing your butt out into nature and just taking it with you and disposing of it correctly.
And just lastly, can you just show the camera this cigarette butt and just explain the idea behind this, just quickly? Yeah,
I was looking for something that was reused, recycled. I found a telephone pole that I cut up, and I used graffiti paint to paint it, and it's really just trying to resemble a used butt at a sort of medium stage decomposition. Yeah, so it's quite heavy. I made it heavy so people don't carry them away and they don't blow away.
Thank you so much. There you have it. We have some people already stopping, taking a look, reading the sign. So it seems as if this silent demonstration to kick butt to the butts is working at Camps Bay.
All right, Monique Mortlock in Cape Town, thank you. There's someone who really is living their activism.